features one of the most intense rivalries in the SEC. Ole Miss and LSU, a Magnolia Bowl with a coaching twist, folks. LSU's interim coach, Ed Orgeron, coached Ole Miss for 3 seasons. And while there, a high school coach told Coach O, hire me and I'll be the best assistant you ever hire. And that's how Hugh Freeze got his first college coaching job. And now tonight, he comes back as the head coach of Ole Miss against the man who gave him his first shot. Great story. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, Jesse Palmer. Jesse, Ole Miss, those 3-3, best 3-loss team in the country. Talk to me about them.
Well, Brent, I think you have to worry about the confidence level right now with Ole Miss. They've played the hardest first half schedule of anybody in college football, but they've lost 3 games. They blew big halftime leads against Florida State and Alabama. Their defense is young, giving up a lot of big plays, and they just don't have the swagger that we're used to seeing a Hugh Freeze coach team have at Ole Miss. But the good news is they have Chad Kelly at quarterback. He's the SEC's leading passer, and this guy is the ultimate competitor, plays his best football in the biggest games. You think about his performances against Alabama last year, this year, last year's Sugar Bowl when he was the MVP. He lives for these kind of moments. It just seems to play his best when the lights shine the brightest, and certainly tonight here in Death Valley, they're shining pretty bright.
Yeah, we've heard all week that Leonard Fournette is coming back. Kaylee Hartung's down below. Kaylee, are we going to see number 7?
Yes, we will, Brent. There was an added sense of competition at practice. Quarterback Danny Etling told us all week as Leonard Fournette got back there out with his guys going full speed. Now, Coach Orgeron tonight is depending on Fournette's honesty as he puts weight on that tender left ankle. He's got to let Coach know what he can handle. They hope to get him in for 30, maybe even 40 plays tonight, Brent. But his offensive coordinator, Steve Ensminger, told me this gives him some options. We will see the full rotation, all 3 backs on the field tonight.
All right, Kaylee, and LSU won the toss, and their interim coach, Ed Orgeron, who dreams of becoming the head coach here at LSU, wants the football right away. He wants to turn Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, and the rest of the talented Tigers loose. Nathan Noble will kick it away for Hugh Freeze. Settle back, folks, and listen to one of the great crowds in college football. Dante Jackson from the 5. Spins to the 20-yard line. Good kickoff coverage. And Jesse, here comes Danny Etling, a great story.
Yeah, and he's a Purdue transfer, started 12 games there and took over here as the starting quarterback in the second game against Jacksonville State early. It's been his show ever since. He's an accurate thrower that gets the ball out on time. He also has some escapability. He can slide around the pocket and hurt you with his legs. Big challenge for him tonight against a very athletic Ole Miss defense.
Now, Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis are going to open in the same backfield. Both on the field. There you see Fournette waving back to the crowd. There is Geis right next to him. What a tandem. Quick flip to the outside, and here's Geis who touches it first to the 26-yard line.
Very interesting to see how LSU going to use both of these running backs. Leonard Fournette, in my opinion, he's the best running back in college football, but while he's missed the last 2 games, Darius Geis, to me, has been the best running back in the SEC the last couple weeks. Very rare that you can find big backs that are physical, that run between the tackles, that also possess game-changing speed, and LSU's got 2 of them, and here we see them lining up beside each other early.
What a tandem. Play action. Etling fires and completes, but well short of the first down. Durrell with the game's first catch, and here's your 3rd down. Opening series.
And Leonard Fournette looks like he's now coming out. Darius Geis stays on. You know, looking forward, both of these running backs can run the ball. Both guys can catch the ball as well, too. So an interesting strategy by Coach O and his interim offensive coordinator, Steve Ensminger, trying to confuse Ole Miss schematically early.
So Etling with 2 quick throws. One, remember, to the running back. They flared that one, and then his first throw downfield was also caught. So here's your 3rd and 3. Run for it, and Ole Miss jumps the running back. Nothing doing. LSU will punt it away as Haynes, Marquise Haynes, number 10, the best defensive player on Ole Miss's team, made the stop.
Right over here, and he's working one-on-one with the tight end, Deshaun Smith. And Haynes is only 225 pounds, but really good upper body strength, able to shed the block and get an early stop. That's a good start, this Ole Miss D.
So it will be Australian punter against Australian punter. And the first one up is Josh Groden. Beautiful punt to the 15-yard line. Davis is out of bounds with the coverage.
Lucky right there, I think, for LSU there wasn't a late hit. But looking at Chad Kelly for Ole Miss, easy to see why this was the SEC preseason Offensive Player of the Year. He's got arm talent. He can throw the football 70-plus yards very accurately. He throws it deep down the field, and they take shots in this offense. But he's also very good running the ball. He can hurt you in the zone read game and on scrambles. He's the total package.
Akeem Judd is his running back. 75% run option with this Ole Miss attack. 3 wide receivers. And of course, Evan Ingram, we're going to call him an H-back and not a tight end. He's so talented downfield. A block that time by him. Judd to the 26-yard line.
And certainly Ole Miss would like to be able to run the football. You see Ingram there. He's really the X factor in this offense, because you mentioned it, Brent. He's 6'3", 230, and lines up at receiver to catch passes. But he's also a guy that can line up in the backfield and help out in the run game, and that gives defenses issues. They don't know necessarily how to match him.
2nd and 7. Kelly checks with the sideline. The coaches upstairs have had a look at the LSU defensive alignment. And they come back with Judd on a running play to the 29-yard line, and Beckwith his first tackle.
And I think one of the key matchups tonight is going to be Ingram right there, the SEC's leading receiver, against safety Jamal Adams, number 33, who I think is a first-round talent.
Kelly moves the pocket, got an open man. Here's Stringfellow. And Stringfellow is into the red zone around the 17-yard line. John Battle, who is filling in for Ricky Jefferson, who suffered a broken ankle, was the safety with coverage, but Stringfellow was wide open.
Yeah, Ole Miss went quick with tempo. LSU didn't get lined up.
A 50-yard gain. Now they quickly flash outside to Jefferson and pick up 1.
And that's what this Ole Miss offense does with the tempo. Once they get that first down, they start cranking it. They'll get to the line of scrimmage. They're not going to substitute. And try and keep the defense on their heels.
2nd and 9. Movement in that front. All right, Joe, thank you very much. We're just underway. Mississippi with its first series. LSU went 3 and out. Leonard Fournette is
Before
playing.
the snap, offside, defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That was Gilmore. He was guilty. However, the big play, and we'll show it to you when we get a chance, they went 50 yards to Stringfellow from Chad Kelly. That's why Ole Miss is now in the red zone at the 15-yard line. This is 2nd and 4. Checking back over to the sideline. 4 wide receivers. Kelly's going to throw. Incomplete. Good defense that time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now this sets up a 3rd down and manageable in the red zone. I think a guy that Chad Kelly likes to look for again is this tight end, H-back, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him, number 17, Evan Ingram, working in the slot right now, one-on-one with Jamal Adams, the safety for LSU. And this is a key matchup this entire game. 2 guys that are going to play on Sunday.
press coverage. They check back to the sideline. Now Adams, the ringleader of that secondary, backs off outside. The defense adjusts after the offense changed its play. Now it's Kelly roll right. Complete. Run for the end zone. Touchdown! Ole Miss strikes first. Van Jefferson, the redshirt freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee, catches the pass and strikes first.
2 defensive busts in coverage on the first drive of the game by LSU's defense. Brent, you mentioned the first long pass down the field, the Stringfellow coverage bust. That time right there, Tre'Davious White at corner lost the slot receiver Van Jefferson in the wash. It's too easy for Ole Miss.
Gary Wunderlich taxed. Ole Miss, the underdog here tonight, strikes first. And for you folks who just joined us, this is the catch that Damaray Stringfellow made. You can see how wide open he was on the play, and that 50-yard play set up the Ole Miss touchdown, and it was a foot race. Offense. Leonard Fournette was in on that first series, getting ready. And here's Jackson a yard deep and bringing it out and runs into his own man and a defender, and he's down well short of the 25-yard line. So good evening again, everybody. I'm Brett Musbury with Jesse Palmer, Kaylee Hartung down below. Jesse, Ole Miss 3 losses already. What did Hugh Freeze tell us about the coaching job?
It's been tough trying to get this young Ole Miss team back on track. He's had some gut-wrenching losses earlier in his time at Ole Miss, certainly, but to lose 3, tough schedule, but to blow first half leads against Florida State and Alabama. The defense has been giving up big plays. They just don't have the swagger they're used to having. The good news for Hugh Freeze tonight, defense goes out, forces a 3-and-out the first possession, and the offense has marched right down the field and scores a touchdown. He's got to like the way his team has responded and rebounded so far.
Yeah, I'm betting on number 7 getting the football. Here comes Leonard Fournette, swinging it outside for a loss. And Kaylee, what are you hearing about Leonard Fournette?
Well, Brent, all week LSU players have been saying there was an added sense of competition in practice with him back on the field with them going full speed. Now, Coach Orgeron says they're going to run the plays that he can run successfully. The ones that they can't, he won't run. What they do have now are options. We've already seen Fournette and Darius Geis in the backfield together. They're going to use all 3 backs they've got. We'll see them all so everybody can stay fresh.
And that tackle was made by Bing Dukes, and that's a story because they had trouble with those linebackers during that loss at the hands of Arkansas. Etling fires, and it is complete, short of the first down. That's Jeter, one of the tight ends, hit by Hartsfield, freshman safety. Remember early, Jess, in their first game against Florida State, they lost Ken Webster, a defensive back, and he's injured and out for the season. They're missing big time. Yeah,
he was their best cover guy. They've had to play 6 different cornerbacks since then, not with a lot of success. They've given up a lot of explosive plays, and LSU has talented guys on the perimeter of the field for Danny Etling to throw to.
So it's 3rd and 5 for the Purdue transfer. Empty the backfield and well defended and well short of the first down. LSU forced to punt it. Derrick Jones deserves credit for that defensive play. Struggling with their first 2 series.
Yeah, this is a defense at Ole Miss that has been criticized a lot this year, but they are playing on fire right now. Look at Derrick Jones, number 19, out wide, one-on-one with receiver DJ Shark. Just doing a great job sticking with them on the screen, being physical. This defense, this team right now, playing with more of that swagger. This looks like the Land Shark D we're used to seeing.
Groden back to punt for the 2nd time. And Carlos Davis fields it and down at the 35-yard line. So Chad Kelly and Ole Miss, after striking on their first series, will come back. Chad Kelly, 3.
This offense one-dimensional, so Arden Key and the rest of this pass rush can pin their ears back.
Judd, the running back. Kelly keeps it on that read option. Good runner. Deceptively quick. And now let's go to the studio. Adnan Virk, what's going on with the Buckeyes at Penn State? right, and it's 4-zip Cubbies in Wrigley Field, closing in on a World Series appearance against the Cleveland Indians. Clayton Kershaw struggling here. The read option again, and the hand to Judd. Judd crosses the 45 to the 47, and Battle brings him down.
You know, I like how Ole Miss does these outside runs, trying to get LSU's D line to run sideline to sideline. There's a lot of ways they'll tire you out. They do it with tempo and a lot of outside running plays.
Judd goes to the sideline, and Brasley checks in. He's the backup running back for Ole Miss. Going to swing it to him, snatches it, and picks up a first down. So they sent him in as a receiver that time, and he flared to the right, and it was a successful, good-looking offense. But let's keep in mind, Ole Miss has had one of the country's best-looking offenses in the first half all season long. Into LSU territory for the second time, both of their drives. First resulted in a touchdown. Now they come back with Brasley as a runner. So game by game, as we break this down, you can see what they've accomplished in the first half.
Yeah, they come out on fire and they throw the ball all over the yard, and it's the second half that they tend to fall apart. And part of that is turning the ball over on offense, and a big part of that on defense is wearing down and giving up big plays. They got to put 4 quarters together tonight.
Kelly snaps it off. First down. He hits Van Jefferson. Jefferson's been a go-to guy tonight.
And he's a guy that can line up inside or outside. He's a great complement in the slot opposite of Evan Ingram. So a lot of targets to keep your eyes on. If you're LSU secondary, there's just so much athleticism at wide receiver for Chad Kelly to throw to.
Ole Miss is carrying it to LSU here in the early going. Ball is on the Tigers' 29-yard line. Judd returns as the running back. Veteran coach upstairs, Danny Werner, signals down what he wants done, and here comes Judd. But it was whistled down. So the play was stopped as it was just starting.
First charge timeout, Ole Miss.
So Ole Miss wants to talk about it. Receivers on the right. Kelly comes left, had one-on-one, incomplete. And that was Jackson, the defender, and there's a penalty flag.
Yeah, I think they might get Jackson here for pass interference. There was a lot of contact. Adebayo trying to run the slant.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. It's a spot foul. Automatic. First down.
Take a look at it again out here. Just isolated one-on-one slant. He's kind of grabbing that jersey, kind of hooks him and keeps that left arm hooked. I think that was an easy call to make.
So an automatic first down, and it's from the 24-yard line here with first down. And Brasley, and we also have that package in here for Pellerin, the backup quarterback. There's a full package for this young man. Coaches said they had a couple of them ready to go, and he's in right now. Hands it off to the running back for a loss on that play, and let's see if Chad Kelly returns.
Well, Pellerin's a guy.
Yes, he is.
He's a guy that can run the football. It's 6'4", 230 pounds, kind of a change-up option for Ole Miss at quarterback. But down here near the red zone and scoring territory, I agree. You keep number 10 on the field.
Second down, 11. 25.
Kelly fires high and incomplete. Wanted his running back again. Brasley was coming out, and Beckwith over on coverage number 52. Very talented sideline to sideline linebacker.
And showing you the speed. He's a 250-pound middle linebacker. Was a defensive lineman when he showed up at LSU. A little bit of contact, not too much. Good no call, setting up 3rd and long.
Judd comes in as the running back. Under pressure, dumps it off to Judd. Well defended, and he's brought down for a loss at the 29 by White.
Ole Miss trying to use a little bit of misdirection. They're showing a fake reverse, trying to get LSU's defense confused, a fast flow the other way, but Tre'Davious White and the rest of that secondary are doing a good job staying home, forcing a field goal try.
It is possible that that time Ole Miss and the offensive staff outsmarted themselves. Here's a 46-yard attempt by Gary Wonderlick on the way, and good. 10-0 Ole Miss. Striking on their first 2 series. Chad Kelly, 6 of 8, 85.
That's the first running back taken in last year's draft, maybe giving a hug to the first one taken in next year's draft.
Trailing by 10, Jackson again, and this time he'll take a knee and it'll come out on the 25-yard line. Well, Coach O, Ed Orgeron, a head coach at Ole Miss for 3 years, and he says, I didn't do a good job. Became the interim coach at USC, went 6-2, replaced Lane Kiffin, did a better job. But now this could be his dream job. 2-0, Ed knows, he said it, LSU must win football games for him to be named head coach. We talked to Hugh Freeze, his good friend, last night, and Hugh said, I'm pulling for Ed, not tonight, but I'm pulling for him to get that job. And of course, Orgeron and LSU face the toughest schedule in the country in November. And remember now, 2 3-and-outs for this offense. Here's play action. Edling going to throw it back to the other side. And it's like Mississippi is reading the plays. Just they've jumped everything. That's Bing Dukes again.
And they've struggled at linebacker, but they're not struggling tonight. And Dietrich Bing Dukes is showing tremendous instincts on this play. Just look at number 43 right here in the middle. He's just going to read this. He doesn't get fooled with the play action and start looking for the quarterback. He follows his assignment, and that's Leonard Fournette in the flat. 2 big plays already by Bing Dukes, the sophomore linebacker.
Dave Womack, the veteran defensive coordinator, working hard with his linebackers today. He has the glasses, headset on there to the left, upstairs. 2nd down and 15 after that 5-yard loss. Edling back. Their best play so far, Traven Durrell, and that gives LSU its first down after 2 3-and-outs, 21 yards.
And another play action fake, trying to get linebackers to suck up to open up a curl lane for Traven Durrell. Now, looking forward, if I'm LSU, 7 plays run so far, 5 passes. I love the aggressive nature, but you've got Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis. I'd get back to running the football and doing what I do.
Well, just as you say that, Jess, they went to that power eye look. Mouton playing tonight. He's kept out because of some. Watch his lead block. There it is. Fournette breaks free. 25. End zone ahead. Touchdown, Leonard Fournette. 59 yards. Les Miles would be proud. It took a while, but they got to the fullback ISO. And Leonard Fournette did the rest. Here's Delahousse. It's 10-7 just like that. And you can feel the electricity on a Louisiana Saturday night.
And 2 key blocks on that touchdown run for Fournette. Colin Jeter at tight end gets a nice slam block right here, and then watch Mouton come out and get a lead block right out in front of Fournette. Now, you knew that Fournette was going to come into this game running angry. He's missed the last 2 games, will certainly be motivated. And I don't think he's 100% necessarily, but even whatever he is, 85, 90%, still the best running back in college football. Because of that, if you're LSU, you got to give him the rock.
He's saying, Mr. Elliott, I know you're here tonight. You win in the first round of the Cowboys. I'd love to go next in the first round.
And Brent, Ole Miss, again, they're giving up 215 rushing yards a game. So if I'm LSU, make Ole Miss prove to you they can slow you down. It's going to be hard with number 7 and number 5 lining up in the Tigers' backfield tonight.
Gamble to kick it away, and Davis back deep. High kickoff. Coverage been trying to get down. Davis slips through and makes all the way to the 27-yard line. Let's check in now. That was some burst by Leonard Fournette.
Brent, for Leonard Fournette to not be able to be on the field with his team for almost a month was devastating. That was the word running backs coach Jabbar Jaloub used to describe the experience for Fournette. He said it took a toll on him mentally. He felt like he couldn't help his team. He wanted to be a part of the new things this offense was doing. Well, he's got his shot now, and he's making the most of it.
He sure is. Meanwhile, Brasley comes in as the running back for Ole Miss to start this series. Play action, complete to the outside. Stringfellow again.
I'll tell you, the best positional matchup in this game to me is Ole Miss wide receivers versus LSU DBs. Everybody is tall. Everyone can run. They've got long arms and ball skills. Whoever wins the most one-on-one matchups, I think, wins this game tonight.
Kelly fires, incomplete. Second, and let's go back to Kaylee.
Brent, Jamal Adams is known to keep LSU's defense accountable. Well, when they were off the field, he went up to each position group within the defense and said, settle down, do your job, do your assignment. If you do, these guys can't play with us.
Kaylee, he's a leader that tells it like it is, when it's good or bad. So some lineup right here. Talked about him being a guy that's going to play on Sundays. I think he's a first-round talent, but his teammates need to listen to that message.
That read option again. This time Brasley crosses midfield. Oh, each time Ole Miss has had the ball, they've charged into LSU territory. Riley with the stop.
And it's those outside runs. It seems like Ole Miss is having its most success when it's running outside of the tackles, trying to use its speed. Setting up now a third manageable.
LSU substitutes late. Now the 11 gets set on 3rd and 3. Kelly incomplete. 4th down.
That time Shaq Kelly trying to force a throw into double coverage. He's got Demoria Stringfellow just running a spot route in man-to-man coverage, but there's 2 defenders around him. He had an isolated wide receiver backside one-on-one. I'm not sure if Kelly decided and predetermined where to go with that throw, but nice stop nonetheless for the Tiger defense.
So here is a story. Will Gleason, Melbourne, Australia. Rugby punter. He can use either foot, or he can boom it with his left foot straight ahead. And White steps up and makes the catch at the 17-yard line. Well, this college football season, stream every game live on the ESPN app on a Watch ESPN. Download the app or watch ESPN.com today. Ohio State with a lead at the intermission over Penn State. The Cubs up on the Dodgers 4-0. Auburn with a huge win earlier today over Arkansas. A lot of us didn't see that coming. And here Ole Miss leads LSU 10-7, and back with the ball, Etling with Fournette, the running back. Fournette tripped up and down at the 24-yard line.
He just hits the hole so hard, so fast. You see here being a little chippy. This is a rivalry game. This is the 105th meeting of the Magnolia Bowl, but going back to Fournette, you know, you just don't see guys 6'1", 235 pounds that are as sudden and as explosive as number 7 is. It makes him truly unique.
Etling complete, and it's going to be marked a first down. So let's go to the studio. I think I ended that half too early. Here's Adnan Virk. Final 4 seconds, Adnan. All right, thank you, Adnan. And here it's 10-7, of course. Ole Miss striking with 10 unanswered. And now Ohio State and Penn State will go to the locker room. 12-7, as Adnan told you. And the Cubs are now up 5-0. And here it is, Etling going for the bomb. Incomplete. Terrell was working deep, trying to take the top off that time.
I think the biggest change since Coach Orgeron took over as interim coach offensively has been a more explosive passing attack by LSU. And their offensive coordinator, Steve Ensminger, he loves to go play action on first down and take shots deep down the field. He knows he's got Traven Durrell and DJ Chark, Malachi Dupree outside, talented big receivers. They do a good job dialing up those first down passes when the defense not expecting it.
Etling's first incompletion of the night. There's Steve with the glasses, second from the right. Etling 7 of 8, but for only 35 yards. He hasn't thrown it. He's had a lot of balls thrown like that. That's Malachi Dupree, and that basically is a stretch running play.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Brent. That's the other wrinkle I've seen in this offense, those run pass options that everybody kind of seems to be doing right now in college football, where you have a run play called, but the quarterback, Danny Etling, looks outside and sees a look he likes. The receiver uncovered. He just picks it up, spits it out. That's basically what it ends up being, an outside run.
Now Geis checks in with Fournette. Both of them behind Danny Etling. Play action. Great block by Geis. Off to Fournette. Oh my. Ooh. Oh, a crushing run. Fournette delivers a blow after his buddy Geis threw a great block in the backfield.
So they're lining him up at fullback, using his speed out in the flattened perimeter, and watch what he does to the true freshman Deontay Anderson at safety. Welcome to the Magnolia Bowl.
22 yards and punishment at the end.
I'd say number 7 looks pretty good, don't you?
Yeah.
Look at that left ankles.
You know, they gave him
That's the end of the first quarter.
a lot of time off, and he has scored for LSU here as we come to the end of the first quarter. A crowd in excess of 100,000. And they're enjoying an old-time SEC rivalry game.
Lined up at fullback, and he baptizes the true freshman Deontay Anderson. I don't know if he's 100%, but still looks to be the best running back in the country.
Out with an injured ankle. Actually suffered it back in the preseason and then injured it in 2 games. And Geis gets the first carry. This is the first snap that LSU has had in Ole Miss territory. Remember, it was that big run by Fournette from LSU territory for the touchdown.
We're watching Darius Geis now, and remember, he's got a lot of wiggle. He's got great feet, can jump cut. Probably has more wiggle than Leonard Fournette can make you miss. And to me, he's the second best running back right now in the SEC. I would take him right now over Nick Chubb at Georgia. I don't think Nick Chubb's necessarily 100% either, but I've been really impressed watching number 5 here these last couple weeks.
Mouton is offset for Geis on 2nd down and 10. Going to bring the end around, and Ole Miss was ready. Fumble! Battle for the loose ball. Picked up finally by Haynes. Ole Miss signaling they've got it.
It was Victor Evans, number 14, that caused that fumble from the backside. He saw the reverse coming to Chark all the way, and he was able to make the hit and spring it loose as Chark's still down on the ground. Right over here, reverse coming this way, and he meets it right at the intersection. He just stayed home. He didn't follow Darius Geis down the boundary. does a nice job of just staying home and playing his assignment, and then it was hot potato. You see Marquise Haynes, he tried to scoop score, finally got it late.
And Mouton actually may have made a touchdown saving tackle as Haynes scoops the ball up. Look at number 47 close in on him. So we'll take a break. Chark is being tended to. Etling was also shaken up a little bit on that play. Okay, as is Danny Etling on the sideline. Meanwhile, great spot here for the Rebels. And Kelly on first down, looking downfield, got one-on-one, intercepted Jackson. Picked it off at the 2-yard line.
The matchup between Ole Miss wide receivers and LSU DBs, I think, is the key in this game. And after a turnover, a lot of offensive coordinators in sudden change situations like to take shots down the field. Dante Jackson outside number 1. I think the fastest player at LSU was prepared for it. Chad Kelly hung the football up way too long trying to go to DeMarcus Lodge. And how about Dante Jackson climbing the ladder and high pointing and getting the turnover and the football right back right away for LSU.
Leonard Fournette back in as the Tiger running back. Coming out of their own end zone. Etling up under center. Fournette to the middle. And at the 25, Hartsfield may have saved another Fournette touchdown.
Josh Butte, right guard, got into the second level and was able to wash a defender this way. Gets the push on linebacker DeMarcus Gates. That opened up the crease. I think Leonard Fournette's eyes got big right here. He saw green. That's a touchdown saving tackle right there by Ole Miss. Number 7 looks pretty good to me.
24 yards. Now it's Geis. Leonard said he wanted a blow, took himself out. And how good is it to have number 5 as your relief running back? Wow. Flip to the outside and got a fall on it just in case it was a lateral. I think it was a forward pass. Ball was hit by Connor, number 12 of Ole Miss.
And Brandon, it was a problem with the quarterback center exchange that time. Danny Etling didn't get the ball clean from center Ethan Posick. Kind of slowed the timing down, and Ole Miss was able to get a hand on that, batted away. Put that matchup next Saturday, huh? Clemson, Florida State, 8 o'clock on ABC. How big is that? That's the game we've been used to every year.
Oh, yeah.
It helps determine the ACC title, I feel like.
No question. Second down and 10. Jeter moves over to the other side of the formation. Now Etling steps up in the pocket, fires complete to the 45. Traven Durrell.
One of the things I like best about Etling at quarterback, he knows how to manipulate and move around the pocket. Doesn't freak out when he feels pressure and take off running. Just watch. He's going to feel a little bit of pressure here coming from his left. Just slide. Soft focus around you, hard focus downfield. Keep your eyes locked in to Traven Durrell on the end. Just nice job at composure by the quarterback.
First down and 10 for LSU on their own 45. Handoff is to Geis. Bangs left side for a couple of yards.
You're seeing these stretch zone runs by LSU, and what that's going to set up is the naked play action from Danny Etling. It's something LSU loves to do in the passing game, and it's a way for them to get their tight ends involved, catching the ball downfield as well.
Shaken up and without his helmet. And Kaylee, what's the status of Chark?
Chark just looked at an athletic trainer and said, I'm good to go. The concern is his left hip flexor. They've worked him out, stretched him out. The look on his face a lot less concerning than it was a couple minutes ago.
Thank you. It's second down and 7. Chark's their fastest wideout, by the way. Coming to the left side. That is what number 5 can do for you.
Just tremendous patience, Brent. It just kind of allows the blocks to set themselves up. They've got their big center, Ethan Posick, pulling. You don't see a lot of 6'7" centers run this well and get outside. Right here, going here. They're just kind of setting it up, slow, calculated, and the sideline becomes available.
Now Mouton and Fournette check into that backfield. Play action. Going to throw back to the short side. Incomplete. Fournette was the intended receiver that time. And Woods, the safety, covered him well.
Woods covered for Ole Miss.
Ed Ogeron grew up in Louisiana. Was here for a brief time as a defensive lineman. Then left LSU, went down to Northwestern and played. And been a great recruiter, great defensive line coach through the years, and now gets the chance for. Etley's got him open. A walk-in touchdown. Chark is back. 40 yards. So much for the hip flexor.
Well, and a total bust in coverage by Ole Miss that time on defense. I think it was A.J. Moore in the secondary. They got peeking at a shallow route. So he's looking for this right here in the flat. Watch him attack that. And he just completely leaves his man, DJ Chark, down the field for the walk-in score. Undisciplined coverage by both teams early in this game.
LSU leads for the first time. So here is Chark telling us they were concerned about a hip flexor. And he told the trainers that it was a little tight after the touchdown. Fielded on the 3 by Davis. Well short of the 25. Down now. Just moments ago on that Ole Miss sideline, some problems.
Yeah, you see after that busted touchdown, the little war of words here between Hartsfield, the true freshman safety, and some of his teammates in the secondary. Ole Miss has to be careful. They've got to lock in right now and band together. I remember last week in their loss against Arkansas, things went bad early. Had a couple drop passes on offense, and all of a sudden everything kind of snowballed on them. That can't happen here tonight in this kind of a hostile environment.
Trailing for the first time, 14-10. Kelly drops it back out to the running back, Judd. Nothing doing. I want to tell you the story that's developing here. Evan Ingram is a go-to guy, and he hasn't caught anything yet tonight. That means that safety that Jesse talked about, Jamal Adams, is doing a job. They've got to get the ball to number 17. Incomplete. Working that short side, and a penalty flag is thrown.
Well, it's Dante Jackson again, who had the pass interference call earlier. Also had the interception on the last possession. Working outside against the Demore Stringfellow.
Pass interference on the defense, number 1. That's a spot foul. Automatic, first down.
He's got to do a better job of getting his hands off the wide receivers. He's been way too touchy-feely.
15-yard penalty, first down.
See there, he's got the left arm kind of barred on him, and it was kind of on the jersey. To me, honestly, I look back at that, and I don't really see PI. I think that's one I'd like to see let go. That wasn't nearly as bad as the first one he had earlier in the game.
Automatic first down. 100,000, agree with Jess.
Safe place to agree.
First down, and the running play with Judd to the 35-yard line.
One thing you're seeing, though, Ole Miss taking a lot of shots in the passing game, trying to go downfield. That's what they do. Chad Kelly does a really good job buying time. He's got 7 wide receivers that are 6'2" or taller, and they can all elevate.
Looking to throw again on the slant for the first down to midfield with that catch. And Stringfellow again, his 3rd catch of the night. He had a big 50-yarder.
Yeah, and that's why this offense leads the SEC with 320 passing yards per game, because they take shot after shot after shot downfield. They're an explosive play every snap away from happening.
A variety of formations where they stack these receivers, and they come back with Judd on the running play. There to the LSU 46-yard line. And Lawrence, Rashard Lawrence, a talented freshman, makes the stop.
Yeah, and he's seen his snaps go up here recently. You mentioned 300-pound true freshman, played a lot against Southern Miss, getting more run tonight.
Coming right back with a first down run, I believe, by Judd. Let's see where his knees were down and where they spot the football. It might have been just short. Looks like he's just short.
Yeah, it's a hard LSU defense to run against. Their D linemen do a good job getting off of blocks, being strong at the point of attack. They eat blocks and double teams. That allows guys like Beckwith and Jamal Adams to clean up. Right now, this LSU defense only giving up 103 rushing yards a game.
3rd and 1. And the pitch wide for the first down that time, and that was Penniman, freshman. Devon Penniman comes in for the first time tonight, and he picked up the first down.
Yeah, Ole Miss has been forced to play younger running backs this year because Eric Swinney was lost first game against Florida State with a knee injury.
Kelly off that read, and this might be intercepted, except the LSU defenders ran into each other. Jackson and Battle collided, or that would have been Kelly's second interception.
Yeah, and it was a bad decision by Chad Kelly. As you see Dante Jackson down on the ground after that, and Chad Kelly just tried to force this over the middle to his receiver A.J. Brown. And it was Dante Jackson that went up and collided with his safety John Battle. Now, had they not collided, I think this ball gets picked.
In a couple of ways. First of all, it's not intercepted. Second of all, you've got two of their talented defensive backs down on the field now. And remember, LSU is without Ricky Jefferson. He broke an ankle in practice. And so John Battle has moved into that spot. And Jackson pounces up, and there's Battle. Tough hombre.
Now, that's good news for LSU, certainly. When we talk about these wide receivers from Ole Miss and the problems that they pose, their athleticism, LSU needs to be full strength with their most experienced defenders and cover guys playing the entire game.
There is Ingram. And there is Stringfellow. 4 wide receivers. 2nd down and 10. Kelly on the move, fires complete to the 22-yard line on the run to Van Jefferson. And Jefferson now with his 4th catch of the game.
Look how quickly Chad Kelly getting the offense lined up again after an explosive play. That's where they pick up the tempo.
Fires high, Battle for it, and caught. That was a terrific catch by Adeboyejo. Quincy Adeboyejo out of Texas went up and made a terrific catch, and it's 1st and goal for Ole Miss.
Yeah, Chad Kelly has this mindset that even if his guy's covered, he's open, because again, the height outside and the ability to high point footballs.
They can certainly run that option look with Kelly. Deceptively fast. They pitch it to Penniman, the freshman, and he's pinned to the ground by Thomas. Dwayne Thomas off the LSU bench.
Yeah, Thomas made the tackle, but Kendall Beckwith made the play, again showing off his speed at 250 pounds, playing with tremendous instinct.
Now 2nd down and goal for the Rebels. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and goal. And Ingram was the intended target, and they had a blanket on it.
It was Jamal Adams. We talked about and highlighted that matchup all day. We've seen Adams be a great run defender. Attack the ball, but he's showing off his coverage skills as well here in the slot. They're trying to pick play, and Adams was able to work off of that, break the pass up. This time they've got Ingram lined up at the top of the screen in the slot away from Adams, but it looks like LSU's got some bracket coverage, maybe double team.
Kelly looks that way. And it's 4th and goal.
Now this is one that usually Evan Ingram's able to make. Now certainly this ball's got a lot of heat on it, but it needs to down here on the goal line. Evan Ingram's normally very sure-handed. Even if he had caught that, you see Tre'Davious White 18, he was right there. I'm not even sure if Ingram would have scored had he caught it.
So Gary Wonderlich from the left hash. 22-yard field goal attempt, and he's 2 for 2. Pulls Ole Miss to within a point. Louisiana and the Chicago Cubs are 5 outs away from going to the World Series. They lead the Dodgers 5-0. Dodgers batting top of the 8th inning. And here with 7:11 to go, Geis is going to bring it out from the end zone. And he is stopped well short of the 25. Let's quickly go to Adnan in the studio.
Return. The kickoff. First down for the Tigers.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Bama, they lost Eddie Jackson, their great defensive back, Jesse. He broke a leg, and ESPN reporting earlier, I saw it on the call, out for the season.
Yeah, that's big. A big leader in the secondary. Also very dangerous returner in the special teams game.
So here it is, 1st down and 10. Fournette, the running back. LSU leading Ole Miss now by a point after the field goal. And Fournette is just impossible to stop at the line of scrimmage.
Well, and especially when he's running behind an offensive line that's getting movement and pushing defensive linemen backwards. You know, you got to crowd the box and crowd the line of scrimmage, try and get as many hats close to Fournette as you can. Right now, Ole Miss here in the second quarter just not physical enough up front.
2nd down and 3. Bringing him again to daylight. Headed for the end zone, folks. Hello, end zone for Leonard Fournette. His 2nd huge touchdown of the night. This one, 76 yards. Hussein tacks on the extra point. Well, Jess, you know of any other running back who looks more like a 1st rounder at number 7?
He's on the sidelines. His name's Ezekiel Elliott. Right?
Absolutely.
Denver before.
Davis back deep. Fielded on the 9-yard line by Davis, looking for an alley to the left, and he is stopped 24 yards.
Go back and take a look at this. Look at this huge gap right here that Bing Dukes is responsible for. It's too much space, and Colin Jeter is going to get a great block. on him. You know, to run the ball well, it's not just about offensive linemen, but it's tight ends and receivers. Look at Gage, number 39, wide receiver, getting a nice block as well. Bad angle taken by Deontay Anderson. That's the second time we've seen Leonard Fournette off to the races.
I know some of the fans in Alabama want to know this score. 19-7. Ohio State leads Penn State. That one in Happy Valley. Brasley's a running back, and they bring the end around. That is Pack. Markel Pack. And the Tigers ready.
It was Arden Key, who is an absolute freak show talent for LSU at linebacker. He leads the SEC in sacks. He's got a tremendous first step. 6'6", 240 pounds. Don't see many like him.
Second down and 14. Kelly couldn't find an open receiver. Now he takes off. And he makes it to the 27-yard line. Godchaux makes
here what LSU decides to do, if they man up and play aggressive in coverage, or if they sit back in a big soft zone. LSU loves to man up, and it looks like that's what they're doing here. Bump and run on the outsides. Who can win one-on-one for Ole Miss?
Incomplete. That defensive back Pack is stopped by Thomas, Dwayne Thomas. Remember, battle was shaken up.
And it's another one-on-one. We talk about receivers versus DBs. It's won by LSU again. It's a deep curl. Pack's got to come back to that football and continue running back to his quarterback. He actually stopped. And I think that's what allowed Thomas to come in from behind him and swat it away.
So White will return this punt. And here's the young man from Melbourne, Australia. Again with the left foot.
Dangerous.
White's got it at the 20. Beats the first two. But the edge is covered, and he's back to the 32-yard line.
And the reason I said that time the punter out-kicked his coverage. I mean, that got to Tre'Davious White fast. And for a guy that already has 3 career punt return scores, you need to make sure you get way more hang time on your punt.
Illegal motion on the kicking team. That penalty of 5 yards will be enforced from the end of the run. First down, LSU.
Leonard Fournette's having himself a night. We saw him get off to it early in the I formation. He's running ISO right downhill, great blocking downfield, and you know that left ankle looks fine. They've stuck him out of the backfield at fullback in the passing game as well, and he's delivered the punishment. Open field running, speed, the moves. He's got only 6 carries right now, but he's got 171 yards. It's the kind of impact Leonard Fournette has had in this game.
Geis, the running back, with 4:46 to go. And he picks his way for a couple of yards. You know, before the night's over, Danny Etling is a good ball handler. And I want you to talk about play action, because that's got to be a nightmare for linebackers when LSU uses either Fournette or Geis to run play action.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think Danny Etling does a really good job of making the play action fakes look very similar to when he's handing it off to Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis. And that play action, it's really benefited. It's benefited this offense this season and certainly tonight based off of those running plays.
You were good at Florida.
That was one of the very few things I was good at.
Second, no. You and Coach Spurrier, you were fun down there,
First
man.
charge timeout.
First
LSU.
charge for LSU.
That will be a 30-second timeout.
So we'll take a quick break. 21-13. LSU leading Ole Miss. All right, Adnan, I want you to ask your guys, if Fournette keeps going, and they should upset Alabama here, is he a Heisman candidate again? I know he hasn't done much this year, but I want you guys to listen to this. 171 yards in the first half. That's a personal high for first half rushing yards. Touchdowns of 59 and 76 yards. Is it too late for Fournette?
Definitely not too late to be a top 15, top 10,
He's
top 5 pick.
That, actually.
He's good there.
So here's 3rd and 8.
We haven't talked a lot about Marquise Haynes for Ole Miss, the best pass rusher Ole Miss has lined up top here. They need him.
Etling, receiver was slipping down, and I do not see a flag. So incidental contact over there as Chark went to the ground.
3:48 left to go here in the half. Ole Miss going to get the ball first in the second half. How big of a possession would this be? Trying to generate some points before going into halftime, create some momentum here playing on the road in this kind of hostile environment.
Carlos Davis plays defensive back and returns kickoffs and punts. Is back deep, and here comes the punter from Sydney, Australia. The battle of the Australian punters. Crowd. No fair catch. And the gunner ran by him, and he made it to the 20-yard line. Well, we're calling it Big Saturday. 3 Big Ten games for you next week at noon Eastern. Michigan, Michigan State. 3:30, Northwestern will battle Ohio State at the Shoe. Then at 7, it'll be Nebraska and Wisconsin. All 3 games now are on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. So let me alert the truck. I need to monitor down there in the SEC. So I watch the action in the Big Ten.
What about your alma mater, the Wildcats?
Yeah, it's amazing their comeback, Jeff. You know, that ball might have been picked off. There's a penalty flag, and it came late. That is on Jackson again over there. They're really trying to pick on him.
They really are. He's been isolated this entire game on the backside in press coverage, and just too much contact.
On the defense, number 1. It's a spot foul, automatic, first down.
He's had his left hand on these receivers a lot tonight. You see it's out there. He's grabbing the jersey a little bit with the left hand and then lets go. But that's pass interference. That's a good call, but it's officiating crew.
Judd to the 40.
Brent, what I do love seeing from LSU and their defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, is the aggressive play calling. They're not letting Ole Miss's receivers scare them. They're doing what they do. They play press man coverage and get physical.
Kelly. There's a penalty flag. This was thrown in the backfield by the referee. Stringfellow caught the pass, but this penalty should be against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's going to be Rod Taylor. He basically tackled a pass rusher for LSU, the left tackle.
Holding on the offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Rod Taylor, who's taken over for Laramie Tunsil this year, as the backside tackle. That's Arden Key, 49, one of the best pass rushers in the SEC, and that's like an MMA, UFC, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu takedown move. I mean,
it was all of that.
There's not. You don't call the penalty for that, but you get what it looked like.
And as a result, it's 2nd and 16. Kelly will try to run out of trouble, and he does. Out to the 41-yard line, makes it manageable.
Now let's go back and now 3rd down and passing situation. Arden Key, number 49 from LSU, and 6'6", 240, long arms, quick first step, his ability to bend. And how does Ole Miss want to handle him? The left tackle, Rod Taylor, had trouble with him just 2 snaps ago. Do you give him help with the running back and try and double team? Right now they've got the back lined up to his side.
Here's Kelly, and again has to run out of trouble, and he will not get the first down. Beckwith stopped him, and with a 4th down in this situation.
I think you got to punt it if you're Hugh Freeze. You're going to get the ball back first in the second half. It's way too early. I know you love to be aggressive, but you're having issues right now stopping LSU running the football. You do not want to give the ball back to Leonard Fournette here in your own territory. He's just going to try to milk as much clock. Yes.
Use a timeout and then send the punter in. That would be my guess of what Hugh is doing right here. So let the clock run out. Remember, he's got a big leg with that punter. They're going to back it up.
Delay game on the offense, number 10, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Here comes the punting team.
And remember, last time Gleason kind of kicked on that gave Tre'Davious White, one of the most dangerous return men in the country, an opportunity. He's got to be really good with the direction, but get hang time and allow the coverage.
Will Gleason, he's been punting left-footed tonight at rugby style. Fair catch is the signal at the 17-yard line with minute 10 left here in the first half. The Cubs are 2 outs away.
You're the best. He's unbelievable. You got to watch it. We got TVs and monitors all around the place. This guy watches 4 games at once. I don't know how you do it.
Hey, Jess, what's your feeling right now about LSU and what you're seeing?
Well, I think you're seeing, the impact that Leonard Fournette, whether he's healthy or not, can have and how he can help them be explosive. But this, to me, is a completely different LSU offense than the one we saw week 1 when they lost at Lambeau Field to Wisconsin. Obviously, they made the change of quarterback, put Etling in. They've been more explosive throwing the football as well. To me, Brent, just so much more balance and explosive now throwing and running.
Geisel, there's that play action, and they weren't fooled. This could be a turnover. Ole Miss football. How about this turn of events?
And there's Marquise Haynes. We talked about the pass rush from Ole Miss and his impact in this game. He had a fumble recovery earlier. That time he just beat the right tackle, Maya Tahuma, all by himself. What a play by the Rebel D.
Jalen Jones saved it, and Etling
getting up slow. I don't blame him.
Watch he recovered the fumble. You watch Jones recover this fumble.
Speed and quickness. 225 pounds, just way too much speed, and a big shot on Etling, which forced that fumble.
What a turn of events.
And clean, too. I like that. You know, how many targeting hits do you see like that when you've got the open shot? The forcible contact made to the shoulder of Etling. Clean play.
So it's 1st down and goal for Ole Miss. Play action. Middle. Kelly going to take off. And he is to the 3-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and goal. Gottschalk brought him down.
And Brett, I would like to see them use Chad Kelly's legs down in this area of the field. The zone read game, getting the extra blocker inside the 5-yard line. He's a big, tough quarterback. 6'2", 225 pounds. Use it.
Penniman, the freshman, will be his running back. And they swarm all over him, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, it's not really what Ole Miss does. You don't see Chad Kelly kind of lining up under center.
Second charge timeout. Ole Miss. 30-second timeout.
When they run the ball, they're more successful generally from shotgun spread sets, not when they want to go big boy and line up in the I formation like LSU wants to.
Make a point about Hugh Freeze here. Remember when he didn't burn the timeout, he took the 5-yard penalty when he wanted to punt? That means he's got one in his pocket. If they don't make it on 3rd down, he's managed his timeouts very well here. He can then use it, and they've got a 4th down. It's 16 seconds with a timeout. You can run the football. There's no doubt about it. You don't have to throw this ball into the end zone. Etling being tended to over there in the sideline, and of course, if he's out any length of time, we'd see Brandon Harris, the veteran.
I wonder what it is, because you know his head snapped back when he took that hit from Marquise Haynes. You know, obviously not a doctor, but I'm wondering if, you know, if some of that concussion protocol and just making sure that he's he's all there. I mean, watch his head on this hit again. Boom, snaps, and ball comes out, and then that head hits the grass as he goes to the ground. Obviously, you want to take all the precautions that you need to. That was a big league shot.
Here is 3rd and goal. Judd back on the field as the Ole Miss running back. Judd battling, end zone, touchdown, Ole Miss.
That's when they're better, running the ball.
Penalty flag comes.
Yeah.
A little scuffling there in the end zone afterwards, and the penalty flag, the officials quickly jump in and separate them.
And we talk about these rivalry games, division opponents, a lot of history, and it's getting chippy. This is a great game on the field, but it needs to stay clean.
See if Ole Miss elects to have Wonderlic just tack on the extra point, or they go for the tie. It's awfully early to go for 2 points here. We'll have some unsportsmanlike conduct, I think, handed out.
Yeah, they're better when they spread you out. Here's just a classic zone read play, and Akeem Judd at 225 pounds, keeping the legs churning. Good push up front. And that fumble forced by Haynes set that up.
I didn't know I'd ever
After
get
the
to
play
say
was
this
over,
right after this.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 49 on the defense.
Wow.
That's number 49's first of the game. Half the distance. We'll play the try down.
And that's important just because he's, I think, one of their best players, obviously, defensively, and he can't afford another one of those unsportsmanlikes where he gets kicked out.
Final charge timeout. Ole Miss.
The Chicago
That's an extended
Cubs
timeout.
Can I give you a high five
are
here in the
going to the World Series.
Hey, just do it near my microphone so people can hear it.
Yeah, baby.
Did you hear that, America? Brent Musburger fired up.
I didn't know I'd ever get to say that in my lifetime. But, you know, my old buddy Jack Brickhouse, God bless him, he once said, way back, he said, well, any team can have a bad century. And that's certainly what the Cubs had. So it's a magnificent story for the city of Chicago. And I hope all of those people go to saloons, sit down in their rec rooms, and watch us in the second half, because this is going to be a great second half.
Listen, there's not a lot of things that Brent Musburger has not ever said in relation to sports. He's covered so many great events around the world and everything. Just to hear you say you never thought you might ever say that in your life. There's a first time for everything. I'm just happy I'm standing beside you to get to hear you do that.
I saw a picture of Billy Williams. He's up there, one of the great Cub outfielders. Ernie Banks was a great buddy. Harry Carey and I, we used to tip a few in Chicago.
At those saloons.
All the memories of all of those guys. And I hope Steve Bartman somewhere has enjoyed it. That was ridiculous what he went through. So here we go. They are going to go for 2. Judd and Kelly keeps it. So they work it, and this time for the 2-point conversion, Chad Kelly keeps it, and we are deadlocked at 21.
And there's the gamble paying off by Hugh Freeze on the road. Team already with 3 losses, just lost to Arkansas last week, and you wondered how they were going to respond. Very impressed watching the fight in this Ole Miss team here early in Death Valley. And they run the zone read. We talked about this, and Chad Kelly can do this inside the 5-yard line. Little fake handoff. The linebacker number 40, Duke Raleigh, just screams down the line of scrimmage to take that, and there's no one back in the gap to fill. It's a 225-pound quarterback. I mean, he's not Jamarcus Russell size from LSU back in the day, but he's dangerous. He's fired up. Look at him.
He's a tough fella.
Well, he's Jim Kelly's nephew.
Somebody told me that Jim was going to be here tonight. We haven't received confirmation.
He was one of my favorites, Brent. I had a poster of Jim Kelly in my bedroom growing up. That was a guy I grew up idolizing.
There is confirmation from Kaylee. She said Jim is here tonight.
The star power we have, right? Ezekiel Elliott on the sideline, Jim Kelly. People showing up for the Magnolia Bowl.
Burt Jones. Going into the Hall of Fame.
Archie Manning's here.
Archie Manning.
Yeah, he stopped by the booth earlier. They all come out. And what a game it's been so far. It's delivered on the field.
We got some star power in this one, partner. Geis is going to go back, and Leonard Fournette, 59 and 76-yard touchdown runs in this game. Geis picks it up, and he stopped short of the 10-yard line the final 6 seconds of the first half. Ed Ogeron, and good to see that Etling returns to the field. Ed Ogeron, the interim coach, was once the head coach at Ole Miss, and he hired Hugh Freeze. And that gravelly voice of his. Freeze had actually gone down to Miami when Ed was named the coach. He was on the staff down there with Jimmy Johnson. Terrific coaching staff down there. And at a championship game, he went to practice and told Ed that if you hire me, I'll be the best assistant you ever hired. And Etling takes a knee, and the first half runs out. LSU 21. Danny Etling for a couple of shots. The man of the half, Leonard Fournette. Jess, I think we're up for a great second half.
I do too. And you know, this first half really starts and ends with Leonard Fournette. Missed the last 2 games on left ankle injury. Welcome back to LSU, and made his presence felt very early, looking very explosive. Might not be 100%, but still tremendous speed. He's been running with a lot of power as well. Only 6 carries, 171 yards already for LSU's running back. They've also been creative in how they've used him, throwing to him out of the backfield at fullback. But there was a great series of plays for Ole Miss late in the first half. First, Marquise Haynes hits a sack on Danny Etling, forces a fumble. Ole Miss takes over deep in LSU territory. They run a zone read play to Keem Judd. He takes it in for a touchdown, down 2. They went for it on a 2-point conversion. Chad Kelly runs it in on the zone read, and here we are, Brent, deadlocked.
Yeah, and Chad Kelly bringing the offense out. Their first possession here of the second half, and after the touchback, of course, they'll start from the 25. And what are the things that you liked about Chad?
Yeah, I love the fact that he slings it. I mean, this guy's a competitor, and he's not going to stop taking his shots. This offense and their explosive nature is built on their ability throwing the vertical ball deep down the field. They won some of those one-on-one matchups. They lost some in the first half, but that's not going to scare number 10 from slinging the pill deep down the field here in the second half.
He opens with Judd as his running back. Gets the first call into the middle to the 30-yard line. Neal brings him down for LSU.
Judd carried the ball. Lewis Neal,
Second down and 5. Battering straight ahead again and appearing just about a yard short, and Neal again.
Well, this will be one thing that'll help Chad Kelly in the vertical passing game. If they can establish some of these run plays and these inside zones, set up some play action shots deep down the field, that'd be huge for this offense.
Judd, and he was stopped short of the first down. Riley hit him first.
Yeah, Duke Riley came firing through the gap as there's an Ole Miss player down on the ground. That looks like their starting left tackle, Rod Taylor, grabbing that ankle. And that's such a critical position in this game for Ole Miss too, because that's the guy that has to protect Chad Kelly's blind side, facing Arden Key, who leads the SEC in sacks right now with 7. Now, Ole Miss has an excellent backup in Greg Little. He's a true freshman. He was the number 2 overall prospect in high school. That's gotten a lot of snaps this year. You see kind of the friendly fire. It's kind of coming in from behind him. He's blocking Arden Key, and then it's Duke Riley, number 40, that kind of rolls into the back of his ankle, and right away, Rod Taylor goes down, clutching it. You see, look at those LSU players and how much they respect Rod Taylor, huddling near him. You know, it's a great rivalry game, obviously, but these players, a lot of them know each other. A lot of them played against each other in high school, certainly as SEC West Division opponents. It's good to see right there him getting up.
And that will probably signal the arrival. They're stopped on their first series. White again goes back deep to return this punt. Standing on the LSU 23. Here's Gleason with that left foot. Fair catch, the signal. And a good one at the 22-yard line. Catch is made, and as Kentucky has beaten Mississippi State at the buzzer with a field goal, let's check in down below with Kaylee on Coach O.
Well, Brent, if we cut down on these turnovers and give the ball to Leonard Fournette every chance we've got, we'll win this game. A very frank assessment from Ed Orgeron at the half. And Orgeron told me it's the turnovers that are hurting this team, the message to the team that they've got to stop them. When you look at what his defensive backs have done as well, we've seen the good and the bad from them. He said, yeah, there were a couple blown coverages there and some calls that were questionable. It's all about assignments here.
Danny Etling, and that's Mouton standing in front of number 7, Leonard Fournette. Right side, there's that gaping hole again. Could it be? Will he strike for the trifecta? He does. 78 more yards for Leonard Fournette. Hold on to your Heisman Trophy ballots. 59, 76, and now 78.
He's only carried it 7 times. He's already nearing 250 yards. And true freshman safety Deontay Anderson is having a hard night with Leonard Fournette. Look at number 2. He's the guy that got run over early when Fournette caught the ball. This time he takes the stiff arm. Finds out about the power that Leonard Fournette has. That stiff arm quickly becoming legendary this year. It's probably one of the more violent ones I've ever seen.
Delahousse tacks it up. 28-21. Worth another look. Enjoy. Down goes the DB. And what a season we're having. Kentucky just had a 51-yard field goal by Austin McGinnis as time expired. They rally in the closing seconds to edge Mississippi State. Here it has been the Leonard Fournette show. Meanwhile, in Happy Valley, Penn State putting up a stand, trails Ohio State 21-17. Here is Davis. 25. Brings it to the 30-yard line. Good starting field position.
Yeah, that's what they're going to need. And you know, with their defense's inability to stop Leonard Fournette right now running the football, it just puts so much more pressure now on Chad Kelly and this offense to make each and every possession count. This game is turning into an offensive shootout on both sides. Ole Miss, they make their living throwing it, and we know LSU makes their living running it. Which side can make the most plays?
Greg Little, who we mentioned, is the tackle on the left side. A tremendous upside. But he's a true freshman weighing in at left tackle. And he's up against Key. Key beat him. Key came around the edge on the freshman. Welcome to a speed rusher in the SEC, young man.
It's a bad idea to block Arden Key with one guy. And Ole Miss now, offensively, schematically, is going to have to change that.
Key trying to get there again and could not. Ingram with his first catch, and he's drilled by White.
So here's the scenario now where you need to give your left tackle, true freshman Greg Little, help. Arden Key is a guy that can move around, but they're going to keep him, need him out running routes. So how do you help the true freshman out? Right now they got the running back lined up that side as well.
There's Key. Got there again. It was Key who forced the issue, and then Godshaw cleaned it up. But he showed the young man an inside rush. You've got to get an H-back or a fullback or somebody to help him out over there against this young man.
He's just way too quick, Brent. He's going to stunt inside here. It just shows you that quickness. 6'6", 240, the ability to bend. And you're right, he didn't make the sack, but he made the play. Godshaw able to clean it up. But Arden Key, he's the next Kiki Mingo, Daniil Hunter, great LSU pass rusher.
Forcing an Ole Miss punt. White is back from the 22-yard line. spins to the 37-yard line. The LSU defense against an injury-riddled offensive line starting to take charge in Death Valley. Left that game on ABC, 23-21 Penn State. Fournette and Mouton into the game here for LSU. Etling's got open man, and that's Malachi Dupree. I
really have just liked watching Danny Etling ever since he took over. He's just brought this offense an added element. And here they're just kind of working a two-man route. We used to call this a fork route at Florida, where Malachi Dupree in the slot working to the boundary, wide open, very catchable ball thrown by Danny Etling.
First down and 10 from the Ole Miss 45-yard line. LSU up by 7. Toss play. Fournette stopped. It's an unusual word to say with Fournette as we check in down below with Kaylee.
You'll remember Danny Etling took a hard hit at the end of that first half. Coach Orgeron told me no concern, he's just fine. But Brandon Harris now is backup. Nope, not tonight.
Well, Mr. Kershaw gave up a home run tonight in Wrigley Field. He might want to grab one of those cubbies, Kaylee. And so he was the losing pitcher. Second down and 6. Fournette. That's the two best defensive plays we've seen on number 7.
Yeah. A little extracurricular activity.
Which brings me to a story. Coach O, last night in practice, put together clips of LSU's loss in Oxford last year against this Ole Miss team. Looked like it grabbed his face mask to me on that replay. But Coach O said we did not fight back. We were intimidated. We will fight back here tonight. And he showed him some of the game clips from that loss in Oxford. Now it's third down and 9. Etling. First down, Malachi Dupree. And he threw it where only the receiver could catch it.
Yeah, when you watch Danny Etling play, he just has so much composure and experience. Remember, he started a bunch of games at Purdue. He's brought stability to this offense in the quarterback position. He plays on time. Catchable balls, but he gets it out of his hands early and gets it to the receiver early, so he doesn't take unnecessary sacks. And then that's part of being a game manager and helping keep this offense on schedule. Very impressive.
First down and 10 from the 35. Here's Etling. Incomplete, and Anderson probably should have had that one.
There's a new body on the field right now for Ole Miss. The Rebel fans haven't seen all year. That's number 6, Fadal Brown. He was a 2-year starter at defensive end for them. He didn't play at all this year yet because he had 2 surgeries on his foot. Now he's a big guy at 6'4", 270. That's very athletic and good in the run, and they need him right now. Good to see him back on the field for the Rebels.
Second down and 10. Here's Fournette. Stopped again, and suddenly Ole Miss able to shut down. That time it was Bing Dukes as we check in the studio with Adnan.
Bing Dukes. And Hartsfield. No gain. Third down 10. 35-yard line.
All right, keep an eye on that. Howard shuts down. Etling quickly gets it off to Fournette. And Fournette will be pushed out short of that first down. One of my favorite stats in all of football. Ira Parsegan coached at Northwestern. Miami of Ohio before that came Northwestern. Then, of course, legendary Hall of Famer at Notre Dame. Never did he have a punt blocked.
Really?
In his entire coaching career.
This is before rugby style punting and all that stuff now. Yeah, wow.
Delahousse trots out. You know who Delahouse's favorite football player is? He loves Bobby Boucher, the linebacker. 45-yard attempt. Drills it. A 10-point advantage. LSU, Penn State ahead with 4:21 remaining in 151 yards, single game school record here, averaging 25 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns.
You expected him to be motivated and to run angry, and we've certainly seen that today.
This is returnable by Davis. To the 26-yard line. Back to the studio. And fumble. Hold on. Hold on. They're battling. That was Jackson in the middle of it, that defensive back.
Take a look at this again. Does the ball come loose before his knee or elbow touches the ground? No. I think he had control of it all the way to the ground.
The ruling on the field, the player was down. First down, Ole Miss.
And that's a good call.
Yeah.
So that gives us a moment to check in with Adnan. Over. So here we go now. First down. Remaining in quarter number 3.
I think all eyes right now have to be on the left tackle from Ole Miss, true freshman Greg Little. Of the last 2 snaps, he's really struggled in his pass protection against Arden Key. They've got to shore that up, or this offense doesn't have a chance.
Judd, the running back. Key looks like he's a track man, doesn't he? He's a speed rusher. And they did bring Ingram over that time, but Beckwith threw the running back for a loss. They did come to chip with the H-back.
I've been so impressed with Beckwith and his maturation as a middle linebacker here in the last couple of years. It used to be that he was reacting. Now he's anticipating.
Kelly quickly fires it off to DeMarcus Lodge.
We're seeing LSU mix up their coverages. Some man coverage, some zone coverage. Trying to confuse Chad Kelly. Trying to confuse these wide receivers. There's a man-to-man look right here. Now it looks like LSU checks out of it. Chad Kelly wanted to check. It looked like the LSU defense checked too.
Drop it off underneath and see if the running back, and Judd cannot get the first down. He's a yard short.
Really good job just rallying to the football. Tremendous pursuit to Sean Bauer that time, running over and making a play and forcing another Ole Miss punt. And you can kind of now feel all the momentum sliding over to LSU. If they were to get a score on this next possession, start running away with this thing.
Dave Aranda. Came to LSU from Wisconsin, and his defense is starting to take over here in the second half. Rolls dead to the 23. That is three and outs to start the second half for Ole Miss. And another reminder, Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern or 7:15 here in Louisiana. Texans and the Broncos, Monday Night Countdown at 6. You have any feelings about that game?
Yeah, well, the Broncos got to get back to running the ball. Remember how good they were early against Carolina and Indianapolis? They got to get C.J. Anderson in the ground game going again. They've struggled with that here recently in the last couple of weeks. Good news is Houston Texans, they're, I think, one of the worst run defenses right now in the NFL.
There is Aranda, who I just spoke about. You see him back there with Beckwith, one of his To sit and talk defense with Aranda. He really is a bright young coach. Pitch it to the outside, and not much doing on that gain for DJ Chark. Remember, Chark was wide open for a 40-yard touchdown after a little bit of a hip flexor problem.
I just love that new wrinkle in this LSU offense, though, that run-pass option, because it's just another way to get these wide receivers the ball in their hands. We talk about all the talent they have, and just didn't feel like they were using it very much the last couple years. But now all of a sudden, with the play action on first down and the quick throws outside, this offense so much more explosive.
Ensminger, the offensive coordinator, after Ogeron took over, former LSU quarterback. Etling wide open in the flat, is tight end for an easy first down. That is Jeter.
It's just such a catchable ball that Danny Etling throws. Certainly he doesn't have the arm talent I think that Chad Kelly has, but he just spins it, just lays it out softly in front of his tight ends and running backs and receivers and just makes it easy. You don't oftentimes see all these acrobatic, awkward body catches that these LSU receivers have to fight for because of how accurate Etling is.
First down and 10 from the 44. Fournette. He's to the 47-yard line, and number 2 is a minute and 7 seconds away from losing. Ohio State trailing Penn State 24-21, facing a 4th and 23.
Wow. You've seen JT Barrett with a lot of magic in the second half, certainly last week against Wisconsin. A couple years ago, remember they had that big win up at Penn State. He was great in overtime then too. Can he pull it out? Wow.
Second down and 8 here. There's that quick play action, and firing to Malachi Dupree, and Dupree is to the 39-yard line for a first down.
And a great job with the progressions by Etling, because on that play and the play action, his main read is the fullback Mouton running in the flat. But just watch, little fake here. He's going to look out to the flat to Mouton. It's not there, so you don't have to panic and freak out. Just get your eyes and feet reset. You locate Malachi Dupree on the spot route, get it to him quick and early, and allow him to turn upfield. And this offense continues to stay on schedule.
Geis checks in. Ohio State is stopped. Penn State a minute away from a shocking upset. There's that play action by Etling, rolling quickly to the right, deflected and incomplete. So quickly, let us take a look at this week's AP rankings, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. And Jess, I'm going to ask you the obvious question. Ohio State is apparently going to lose, barring a miracle. Who in that list right there would you move up to number 2? What would be your vote?
Oh, to me, it's Michigan. Just watching how they've played so far and the dominance they've shown on offense and defense, to me, has been remarkable. But there's a lot of football left to be played in that division in the Big Ten. Ohio State, if they lose, not out of the playoff picture yet.
Battering off the right side that time with the running attack for Geis.
We haven't really seen a lot of Darius Geis tonight because of how well Fournette's played and all the explosive plays they've had on offense. But I think right now, LSU, the best 1-2 combination at running back in the country is right here in Baton Rouge, and Fournette and Geis.
There's a couple of, who knows, like you said, there's so much football left to be played. Remember, Michigan still has to go to Columbus to play Ohio State. Now Fournette and Williams are into that backfield. Fournette flares, but Etling's looking the other way. And he's going to take a sack at the 46, and that was Gates, the junior from Hampton, Georgia, bringing him down for the Rebels. This will be Coach Franklin's, the former Vanderbilt coach, now at Penn State. This will be by far his biggest win.
Stunning and twisting, and it's Isaac Gross, number 94, that forces Etling to step up into the pocket for Ole Miss, bringing him down.
This needs a spark. Maybe Davis can give him one here. He's going to signal for a fair catch, however. Good punt about the 6-yard line. And let's go to the studio on Adnan. What a night in Happy Valley, Adnan.
At the 6 yard line.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? Here's a bulletin. Neither is LSU. Oh, I know, I hear you people yelling at me. Wait till you see their schedule the rest of the way. And if they were to win out, let me tell you, the committee would have a very, very hard time overlooking them. We shall see. First down and 10. Brasley, the running back for Ole Miss. Remember, it's been three and outs, loose ball, touchdown, LSU, or is it going to be spotted on the one? Hold on, everybody. Hold on now.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down. Second out.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call. He got tackled first when he kind of pivoted around. Watch Brasley take this handoff here. Kind of gets wrapped up. Knees go down there. I think they'd already touched at that point before Dante Jackson pulled that football out.
This is a touchdown, folks.
The previous play is under further review.
And what they say the ruling on the field was?
He says knee is down.
So watch this.
Ruling on the field.
This will be a great view here. See
There's
that
the
right
knee.
there? That's down.
Yep.
And I don't think the ball's out just yet. The ball's not out until he completely spins around. That's a really
terrific replay. A great look by our guys in the truck. Scott Matthews, our producer.
We got extra replay officials back in.
Director. That's just a great view of that knee, and that's one that instant replay is going to look at. Now they show you whether the ball has come out. It clearly has not. Jess, you were all over. That comes out very late.
There's replay officials back in Birmingham, Alabama at the SEC headquarters that can help out the replay officials here as well to make sure they get a consistent call. But I think you're right, Brent. Those are great looks that we had an opportunity that we're feeding those replay officials to make the correct call, and I think the call on the field is going to stand.
Compliments to the truck. They got right to the correct angles.
Patty Mack.
That way. Learned his football watching the Steelers back then.
Of course he did.
What a scene in Happy Valley. It was a whiteout, and now it's a complete whiteout. That student body has stormed the field. So many great games up in there, Jess. It is really nice to see the Nittany Lions win a big game. Nothing against Ohio State.
No.
After review, the ruling on the field of the player being down is confirmed. Second down, Ole Miss.
It's the right call, and Ole Miss dodges a bullet. But Brent, you said this earlier, and I agree with you. They need a spark. Something has to happen. They need an explosive play on offense. As we look back at these angles again, I think the picture on your right is the best picture. But Chad Kelly needs to hit a throw. So one of these receivers has to win a one-on-one. We got to get back and talk about that matchup. Ole Miss receivers, LSU DBs, Ole Miss outside. They got to start winning.
Second down and 10. Kelly from his end zone. Ingram breaks a tackle. That's how dangerous he can be. He's out to the 12-yard line, and he was shut out in the first half.
I was going to say,
missed it.
Yeah, it's his first catch. He's the leading receiver in the SEC. And right now, his second catch, and you know, you're throwing him screens. They need him downfield.
Third down and 4. Over 101,000 here tonight. The 11th largest crowd ever in this stadium, and they're in full throat. Kelly scrambles for the first down.
And he's going to have to do more of this, especially now with his starting left tackle out of the lineup. The internal clock in his head is going to have to go off faster, and he's going to need to take off.
Second and 10, trying to get it to Ingram.
That's really one of Chad Kelly's strengths, I think, is his ability to use his legs to buy time and give those big, tall receivers outside an opportunity to work downfield. And we know Chad Kelly loves to launch it.
Well, the play caller is at a disadvantage with that freshman at left tackle, however. You know that. Here comes a move the pocket in that direction. Hit on the release. Intercepted. Picked off by Duke Riley. The senior. What a night he's had.
And Brent, having the backup left tackle is affecting his play calling. That time, they kept Evan Ingram in. The SEC's leading receiver had to stay in to help block on Arden Key right here. He does a good job, but normally in those situations, Chad Kelly gets all his guys out. So that's one less receiver now you have running in zone coverage. That's a bad force by Chad Kelly, a throw he never should have made to DeMaurier Stringfellow. And LSU, they were the ones turning the football over in the first half. Defense comes up with a huge takeaway.
Don't bet against number 7 coming at him again. Fournette checks into the game behind the fullback. ISO look from the 25. Here it comes. Breaks outside and struggles for a yard. Bing Duke's good tackle.
We talked about this Ole Miss team and how young they are on defense. And when bad things have happened this year, especially in the second half, they start to snowball. Right now, this is a critical moment of this football game. They need to force LSU to attempt a field goal. They let up a touchdown here. Who knows what happens? Going back and taking a look at this again.
Ooh, that's
wow.
a face mask.
Yeah,
we've got to call that.
That's a missed call.
Oh, mercy.
Wow.
Oh, come on. So here's 2nd down and 9. And it did not. It gave Ole Miss a little. I mean, the ball remains with Ole Miss.
Okay, so more importantly now, spinning it ahead, big critical 3rd and long scenario. We talked about Ole Miss needing to stop the bleeding. So Marquise Haynes, he's the guy that forced the fumble on Danny Etling at the end of the first half. He's their best pass rusher, leading the team with 4 sacks. They've been moving him around. That's got to show up right now.
So here's 3rd and 9. And timeout is going to be called by LSU. So we'll take a break. 23 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Watching you guys over a cold one later tonight. Always love your wrap-ups. Love those 2 guys that you got with you. Do a great job in the studio. So here it's 3rd down and 9. 10-point lead, and LSU threatening. Even should they miss on this 3rd down, Delahousse pretty accurate from right around here. Etling fires off to the side. Intercepted. Beautiful interception by Derrick Jones. What? That could be a game saver right there.
No doubt about it. It's the play that Ole Miss needed defensively to try and gain some of this momentum back. So impressed with their back against the wall. And that time, the throw a little bit late from Danny Etling. He'd been playing on time, but this is an outbreaking route to Chark. The throw a little bit late. It was undercut by Derrick Jones, and at 6'2". How about those long arms and that ability to elevate, come up with the 3rd takeaway for the Rebel D.
How nice it is to have size back there.
Yeah,
mentioned 6'2".
Yeah, well,
rather than 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, and they have a lot of those smaller guys in their secondary. LSU's the one that has all the length and the size, but right there that you see why that's something that coaches covet so much, height at corner.
But can they do anything against this defense? They've been stymied all 3rd quarter. Kelly keeps it. Tough run. Adams making the stop.
He's got to be careful with ball security. That thing's kind of swinging around wild.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Just love the way Jamal Adams plays defense. One of the best safeties in the country. And a big 2nd and 3 here for Ole Miss. Judge Stretch, no. Battle, they're not going to get it. They have gained a yard. A second down below with Kaylee.
Brent, a lot of moving pieces on this Ole Miss offensive line. They're not just down their starting left tackle, Rod Taylor, but also their starting right guard, Jordan Sims. Both guys, right ankle injuries, taped up, said to be questionable.
That's bad news, Kaylee, because they've taken their right tackle, Sean Rawlings, moved him to center, which means they've got a freshman, Alex Givens, the backup right tackle. So right now, Ole Miss, 2 freshmen playing on the edge, trying to block for Chad Kelly.
3rd down and 2. Here's Kelly, not getting it. Fumble! Loose ball, scoop it, key, touchdown, LSU.
Got to go back and look at this again.
The ruling on the field as the runner was down. It's 4th down.
That's what I was just going to say. Watch Chad Kelly here. Legs get taken out from under him. Elbow equals a knee. I think that's going to be down. Jamal Adams, they came in and made the play behind the line of scrimmage. Kelly still, I think, has possession of the football when the elbow hits the grass.
The old John Madden line, eh? Ground can't cause a fumble.
How about this LSU defense, though, flying around? And what a game Jamal Adams is having.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I mean, he's a guy that has always been good in run support, but the coverage he's done on Evan Ingram and now making that play.
So
Before the snap,
there was a whistle.
previous play is under further review.
So the replay booth wants to take another look at it. With some of the angles that we've got, we're of the opinion that it's going to stand, even though the ball popped out, as just told you, this forearm right there.
Now, did they say that the ruling on the field was that he was down?
Yes.
See, I wish they would let the play go on, because let's just say in this replay they actually determine that it's a fumble. LSU should get the defensive touchdown, but because you rule it down, you don't get that opportunity. I wish sometimes the referees would let it go.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's 4th down.
And that's the right call in this scenario, but I think referees should let that go on.
They did
so that the
first
defensive score,
yeah. Replays, you know.
Yeah.
And then. White will go back deep now on this punt. Is that rugby style? The Australian drives White back to the 29. Oh, a crushing 2-man block. Oh, baby. Was that Adams?
I think it was.
Holy Toledo. Watch Adams.
And he got it from the front. It was clean. It was close. But Jamal Adams is on fire right now. Defense, special teams. Watch this. Gets the helmet out in front.
Gets 2 with 1 bar.
Junior safety.
Send him the Thorpe Award.
From Louisville,
Send
Texas.
him the Bednarik Award. You know, he's so pleasant when he comes in and he talks to us at length. Great smile and everything. But he said, I'm a different guy when the game starts. He said, I'm all business down there. And I think we just saw that.
Yeah, well, we heard from Kaylee earlier that he's the leader on D, and he's the guy that tells everybody else whether they're playing well or whether they're not, doesn't sugarcoat it. I'll tell you what, you gain a lot of respect, and you're allowed to have that privilege when you make plays like that.
You've got to give Coach O a lot of credit. He kept these youngsters in the game, despite the 2 losses, despite being an interim head coach.
The game clock started in error. Please reset the game clock to 13:29, please.
So that gives me an opportunity at, mind you, after we're done here in Death Valley, keep it locked to ESPN Sports Center at night. Nicole Briscoe and John Buchagros. Bucci and Nicole. Highlights and a breakdown of Game 6. The Cubs, they'll tell you all about it. Headed to Cleveland for Game 1 of the World Series. They'll have all the highlights. Been remarkable, folks, not just the Cubs, but how about the Cleveland Indians? You know, just one thing about the SEC, it is a great baseball conference. You know, a lot of players in the major leagues scattered around. Right. You want to see college baseball at its best. Watch the SEC. Here's Fournette. And he's out to about the 32-yard line.
And I just wonder how much gas that this Ole Miss defense has in the tank. Their offense has not helped them out at all here in the second half. Ole Miss doesn't have a point in the second half. This defense is being counted on and relied upon to come up with these turnovers with their backs against the wall. They've been maligned all season long. How much more do they got?
2nd down and 7 for Danny Etling, who has shown some toughness tonight. He's been banged around by this Ole Miss defense a couple of times. Haynes got on him, forced a fumble. Here's Fournette. How about that power run?
Well, and an offensive line that's starting to get serious movement here. Josh Butte, a 346-pound right guard, is just a mover of men. You're going to see him double here and then slam and get up and take a defensive tackle off that into a middle linebacker and just get pushed backwards. And then Fournette just does the rest.
Fournette's headed for a 300-yard night. And given the schedule that's ahead for LSU, should the Tigers come up big, do not count him out of the Heisman race. That would be a huge mistake. Here he comes on the toss, cuts back, picks up a 1st down. Gates makes the stop, and here comes Geis.
And you're just seeing
and
why
injured Ole Miss player
so many people think that Leonard Fournette is going to be the first running back off the board. It's speed, it's power, it's balance. How about the vision? Looking for the cutback and able to get north-south. Oh, it's Marquise Haynes.
Yeah.
Not the guy you want down if you're Ole Miss.
He's being tended to. So we'll take a break while he's being tended.
What? Wait till you see what happens.
Position. He meddled with his assistants, he admitted. Got in their way. He would yell at the quarterbacks like they were defensive linemen. He says he has changed greatly, lets his assistants do their work, learned a lot. This is Geis diving, twisting. What a relief pitcher.
That's a great point you make about Coach O, though, Brent. I think his greatness is as a motivator. And I like that he's allowed his position coaches and coordinators to deal with the X's and O's. He delivers the positive energy to this football team throughout the week, on the practice field, in the meeting rooms. The message is always about team, kind of an us against the world mentality. But these players buy in quickly. They love playing for him, and it's shown the last 3 weeks.
And he's in a state where he doesn't need an interpreter. 2nd down and 1. Love Coach O. Here's Geis, short of that 1st down. Let's check in with more on O with Kaylee.
Well, Brent, when O was the head coach at Ole Miss, he says he coached that team like he was the defensive line coach, because that's all that he had known. He learned the hard way that when a D-line coach screams, it's okay. But when a head coach is screaming at you, it carries too much weight. He knew when he lost that job, he said, if I get another opportunity, I'm going to treat my players like they're my sons.
And he did at USC, Kaylee, because we had him out there for a while as an interim coach, and you know he does exactly that. Go ahead.
I said, and that's exactly what he does, and that's what these players feel. That familial love is real in this program.
And here comes Fournette. It helps to have him as your running back when you're trying to get a job.
It sure does, no doubt about it. And right now with a 10-point lead, the game plan on offense for LSU is pretty straightforward. Hey, we're just going to run the ball and milk this clock. They're taking a lot of time in the huddle. They're taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage, and they're just lining up and charging straight downfield. And they're just daring and testing the physicality of Ole Miss in their front seven.
Number 5 checks in.
And again, Ole Miss without Marquise Haynes, their most explosive playmaker in their front seven on defense, being sorely missed.
Ten minutes remaining. Geis steps outside. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
They're getting really good blocks from these fullbacks. J.D. Moore and Brykeithan Mouton, when they've been isolated against Ole Miss linebackers, they've come through and delivered and allowed some rushing lanes for these LSU backs.
Here's my favorite stat of the night from George Hill. This is, believe it or not, LSU's first trip to the red zone tonight. Their touchdowns have come 59, 40, 76, and 78 yards.
I think most of those are number 7. I think there was the one busted coverage. Yeah, DJ Chark caught that long one, but it's been because they've been running the football.
First down and 10 now. Throwing for a loss.
And so Ole Miss figured it out, and now they're crowding the line of scrimmage. I think on this.
The man of the match with his helmet off. 284 yards. Only averaged 17.8 yards a carry, folks. Here's Etling. Drops it off to the side, and that's Williams, running back, who checked in, number 28.
It's a pick your poison dilemma if you're Ole Miss, because do you load the box to stop the run and then let these athletic wide receivers for LSU one-on-one outside, or do you play big zone coverage to prevent the explosive throw, but then leave yourself susceptible to getting run on? I think at this point in the game now, and with the success obviously Leonard Fournette has had, I choose load the box and take my chances with my DBs outside.
And we get a report from down below that Haynes is checking back in for the defense now. Etling, first and goal.
How about that catch by Malachi Dupree? 6'4" with those long arms. He's such a great catch radius. And that was not an accurate throw that time by Etling on the slant. This is behind him. The body control to reach back, pluck the football.
Got hit in the helmet a little bit, didn't he, that time by Jones?
Yeah.
He's up a little high. He's shaking up on this play. First down and goal. See if they get Geis a touchdown. And they do.
As this game has worn on, this LSU offensive line has gotten stronger. They've gotten so much more movement here in the second half up front. It's the type of game I think Coach O loves. Certainly I know Leonard Fournette loves.
Delahousse on for the extra point. Tacks it on. 38-29. LSU. Maybe the best running attack in the been overlooked a little bit. It's a very young football team. They've still got a lot of building to do, obviously, in the offensive line and with the linebackers and everything. Not an excuse, just pointing it out. And here comes Davis. Roped down at the 20-yard line. Bringing the heat. Remembering that loss last year in Oxford. Not in our house, they're saying.
We got a short week to get ready for Texas A&M, but I'll tell you what, with the talent this team has, they keep buying into Coach O's message. Danny Etling continues to improve at quarterback with 2 healthy running backs at Fournette and Geis. Defense playing lights out. Who knows?
Kelly. And it is caught by Stringfellow. We haven't heard from him, and that's Tolliver, the defender.
Been impressed with LSU's defense tonight against this kind of explosive passing attack. They've only given up 2 touchdowns in this game. LSU's defense looking good again.
Runs the slant before the chains could even get moved, and Beckwith again defending, that time against Ingram. So it is second down. Kelly, far side, incomplete, and Tolliver had locked up the wide receiver over there. There's a penalty flag, but it's thrown back by the line of scrimmage, not over there by the wide receiver.
Holding. Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty. Second out.
Well, you want to kick off your Week 7 NFL Sunday. ESPN, 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insiders, Sunday edition. Then at 11, Sunday NFL Countdown Crew. We'll take you right up to the kickoffs. Both shows are also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Dallas Cowboys, one of the big stories, are off. This is their bye week. They'll be returning to action. Kelly flushed out of that pocket. Goes down at the 27. Key that was right there.
And just nowhere to go for Chad Kelly. You know, that great battle tonight between Ole Miss's wide receivers and LSU's DBs. I'd argue LSU defense wins in a knockout. Just haven't been a lot of open guys, and they've contested the throws. They've won the night.
Third down, pocket collapses. Kelly. And he was defended by Riley, and here comes the punt team, and he's been a very busy punter.
So impressed just with Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator for LSU. Remember, he came from Wisconsin a year ago, and he's incorporated some new schemes, some more zone coverage on the back end. This defense, so much more multiple this year than we've seen. They've been less predictable. They've bought in. His players love playing for him.
That is the 8th punt for Will Gleason. And here comes White. 45 and out of bounds at midfield. So we'll take a break. 5. 3 in a row. And now let's look at tonight's game-changing moment, brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Ole Miss had jumped out ahead, Jess.
Yeah, but then it was Leonard Fournette, and really he changed this game the second he came out of the tunnel and missed the last 2 games with that left ankle injury, but made his presence felt very, very quickly. A long touchdown run early, and it's been a lot of Leonard Fournette often. You see 16 carries, 284 yards, a single-game LSU record. He's been good tonight catching the football, and that's bad news. We talked about that schedule remaining for LSU. Those defenses now, they've got to deal with what looks to be a very motivated Leonard Fournette.
And I think his night's over. Here's Geis. That was the 59. He also added a 76 and a 78-yard touchdown run. And now Geis and LSU work on the clock as we go down below to Caleb.
Well, Brent, Ole Miss linebacker Terry Caldwell was sent to the Ole Miss locker room by the defensive staff. This came after he got in the face of defensive end Fadal Brown following that last LSU touchdown. Defensive line coach Chris Kiffin told the players, we need guys who want to finish this together.
Yeah, and Kaylee, they got to stay together, because we've seen earlier in the game, remember that infighting little argument between the DBs after a coverage bust? They're young and they're being tested, but there's still a lot of football left for them as well. It doesn't get any easier. They got to play Auburn next, and that might be the most improved team in the SEC since week 3.
2nd and 8, Geis to the 34, first down LSU.
And how much better does LSU look as a team than what we saw week 1 when they lost against Wisconsin? Offense just so much more explosive. Big part of that, I think, Danny Etling taking over quarterback, but especially in the last 3 weeks with Coach O on the sidelines, just seems to be a bit of a different energy to me.
Absolutely.
You know, they just look fresher. And I know one thing that he's done is kind of change their practice habits, and you know, they just look like they just got more juice early in games. You see the offensive numbers and how those have changed certainly the last 3 weeks.
There's a toss. Guys, get a coaching job if that's what he wants to do. But the other day, our stage manager, Jacqueline Jameson, who really runs this operation up here, JJ, she was down getting a little barbecue.
Yeah.
And she ran into the coach.
Voodoo chicken.
And there she is. There's JJ. But I want you to take a look at Les. He looks calm. He looks great. he was out. He posed for this. And Les, we know you're with your family tonight, and I hope all is well. And like I said, if he wants to coach again, he certainly will be able to. By the way, happy birthday, JJ. Here we go now. 2nd down and 5. And here's Geis. Strong makes the stop. But you know, I do want to say some nice things about Hugh Freeze, and he also has had nice things to say about Coach O. But this has become a very, very difficult year now for Coach. And he said getting ready for this game he thought was the toughest thing. Well, now it gets worse because there were high expectations. They've been struggling in their good matchups against the quality teams.
They've got more quality teams coming up, Brent. Yeah. They got Auburn coming up next. They still got to go to Texas A&M down the road. Welcome to the SEC West.
Now, and there's got to be somebody in the Freeze family who won today. Kaylee, is there?
There is a win for the Freeze family to celebrate today, Brent. Now, Coach Freeze's oldest 2 daughters were competing in the state volleyball tournament back home today. They won in 3 straight sets. They are now in the Final 4 for the state. Their next game next Friday. Coach Freeze says he'll try to make it before a home game for Ole Miss next weekend. Freeze says he doesn't remember a time in his head coaching career where he hadn't had one of his girls. He's got 3 daughters and his wife Jill in the family. He doesn't remember a time where he didn't have one of them here to support him. But today the girls had to be back home, and we know they've been watching all night long, wishing they could be here with him.
You know, it was Jill who urged him to take the coaching job under Coach O at Ole Miss, and he took. That's right. Freeze was a very, very good high school coach, and he was making up around $100,000 a year when he took, I believe it was $35,000 or $40,000 to become a glorified gopher when he started out for Coach O. And then he stayed at night. He was the last man out of the office. He learned, and when a spot opened up on the staff, Coach O elevated him, and the two are good friends. Obviously, they're big competitors here tonight, and looks like Coach O is going to win his 3rd in a row. Oh, he should have. He did it. He caught it. I thought maybe he was going to let go of the end zone accidentally.
Very
but
fitting.
Good job by number 33, Jamal Adams.
A little pitching wedge.
Yeah, a little pitching wedge.
Backspin.
Knock it in. What an asset he is.
I'll tell you, Brent, I think Jamal Adams made himself a lot of money tonight. And I think coming into this game, a lot of people have targeted him sort of in that 1st to 2nd round. And we've all known how good he plays the run and his ability to attack the football and his intensity. He covered extremely well tonight. I think really showed more of that versatility, making big plays on special teams as well.
Well, they're getting ready to spot the ball here and sort this penalty out. You know, Adams tonight made 5 tackles, 2 solo, 1 pass broken up. But it's the invisible things. I mean, he took Ingram out of the game in the 1st half.
Yeah, which no one's been able to do yet this year.
The crowd starting to file out. Again, in excess of 100,000. And not quite sure why this is taking so long. So let them sort this thing out here. And, you know, we're. Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Your alma maters looked good recently. You know, they put up 50 against Michigan State on the road, beat Iowa on the road. Had that impressive win today against Indiana. But yeah, you know, we remember what happened last year when Ohio State lost to Michigan State at home. They turned around and took it out on the Wolverines. Yeah.
Well, some of our viewers and listeners right now, they're going to be glued to the SEC network next week, okay? The best in the SEC. And that's Penniman, I believe, who has checked in here for the final 143.
You know, I want to give LSU a lot of credit It's the third straight game now. They've looked very impressive. To me, they're a team right now peaking at the right time.
And Jess, if I read that schedule right, they get a week off before Alabama.
That's the next game. Bama at home at night here in Tiger Stadium, peaking at the right time with the talent LSU has. I believe they have the talent to beat Alabama. Now, they're going to have to play their A game in all three facets, but they can beat Alabama, a totally different LSU Tiger team than what we saw earlier in the year.
And then for Alabama, oh, by the way, here comes Auburn.
Yeah, which is a real, now that's a threat. And by the way, LSU's SEC chances still alive to win the championship. They need help. They need Auburn to lose.
Yeah, they have to have Auburn lose, but Auburn got help today with Texas A&M losing.
Right, and listen, Auburn, I think Auburn and LSU, the two most improved teams in the SEC since the start of the season.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
I mean, if you're Alabama, you do not want to play LSU and Auburn this late in the year the way they're playing.
That's complete to the 40 and battle at safety right there. Remember, Jefferson out for the season.
Big key for LSU, obviously, is keeping this guy healthy. They've lost him for 3 games now. Can't miss any more, especially with their schedule.
Here's some of the twos. Ball at midfield. Penniman getting some snaps here. Coach Freeze just short of that first down. Sports Center's coming up. They've got so much to show you. Got the celebration in Wrigley Field, the upset of Ohio State, the #2 team, incomplete. And, that was Stringfellow. He had a big 50-yard gain on a reception early in the first quarter.
We saw a couple coverage busts early in the game, and then LSU's defense, they've been lights out ever since.
Jess, believe it or not, this is my first Ole Miss football game, and I can't wait to get to Oxford sometime. All right?
Fingers crossed.
I've got to go early, okay? I mean, such wonderful people around there. Loved it when I was studying English. William Faulkner, one of my favorite writers of all time. Coach O, former Ole Miss coach, beats his team, shakes. There's the two buddies.
You're welcome.
38-20.